Good evening. Welcome to the May 15th, 2017 Jurupa Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, this brings us to our public verbal comments section, and if I'd ask that the speakers, I got 12 cards up here. So if I'd ask if you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, that would be great so that everyone can be heard. Thank you. First one I have is Mr. George Monge.
Thank you for hearing us today. Members of the board, I earlier submitted a letter to you, and I hope you have that present or you had an opportunity to examine that. So I'm not going to really go into details regarding what was said in the letter itself, but because I think it states the point of view of both teachers and many of the students here on our campus. Our campus is, how you want to say, wounded and incomplete right now with the absence of these teachers. We would ask the board, or I would ask the board, to consider whether or not the actions that we'll be considering today are proportionate, or have things happened to the extent that no other lesser matter, lesser than dismissal, could be considered in terms of rectifying the situation. The Rubidoux campus is looking to be healed, and we do feel, many of us do feel, that the healing will only take place when those missing members are allowed to return back to the campus and let the healing take place together. As I mentioned in the letter, we consider ourselves family, and when you have a family member who does have a transgression against one another, that oftentimes that the best response is to train and coach and work with that family member and really create the healing to go forward that way. Since this event, yes, it was kind of a shock and there were some things that happened, but Rubidoux has really attempted to heal. We have had many unity rallies, as a whole school. We have had a very successful WASC accreditation visit, and many of those members of the visiting team did meet with us and talk about these matters. They talked to our students, and they were appreciative of those students' point of view. And I think that kind of affected the successful accreditation process. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Monge. Next we have Ms. Kelsey Finicum.
Good evening. Thank you for talking to us. I'm here in support of all of the teachers, but in particularly, I'm one of the agriculture teachers at Rubidoux, and I just wanted to express my feelings about everything. And it really was a bad day for Rubidoux. The things that happened, some things were said and done that maybe weren't exactly the best options, but I wanted to hope that you would consider a lifelong career as being based on the decision tonight. In particularly, I'm talking about Ms. Fuller. Thousands of students have benefited from her. She's been there 28 years in a very exemplary teaching. She's been awarded numerous awards, and I was even a product of her teaching. I've been teaching with her for 7 or 8 years now, and I just can't say enough good things about her. I would just like you to know and keep in mind that there's students and parents everywhere are just devastated by this, and I hope you can kind of think about we're teaching these students to be forgiving, responsible students that are understanding and compassionate, and I'm afraid that one day of a mistake is going to ruin her career. And so some of the students want to talk to you too, if that's possible. So I just wanted to express it.
Thank you, Ms. Finicum. Okay, next we have Guadalupe Reyes Paz.
Hello, my name is Guadalupe Reyes Paz, and I'm here to represent Mrs. Fuller. I'm currently serving as the Vice President for our Agriculture Department, and I'm just here to let you all guys know about how Ms. Fuller has helped me. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be standing where I am right now. And it makes me sad to see that someone that I love so much, that she's being treated so unfairly. She's done so much for all of us, and I just have so much to say. And I'm sad because I can't express myself truly how I want to, but I'm hoping to reach out to you guys and ask you guys for forgiveness. Everyone makes mistakes. I know I have. I'm pretty sure all you guys have. And to just be willing to throw away all of her 20 years of hard work and dedication to the students, to just throw it away, that's so wrong to me. If you guys could just please listen to us and bring her back, it would really mean a lot. Not only to me, but to the rest of the students here and to the future students who are going to be a part of this district. If you guys forgive her and bring her back, it'll show the community that we are a forgiving district and we don't teach our kids to just judge someone based on one mistake they've made in the past. We need to be forgiving and set an example for the whole community and for our other schools. We need to show them that we are forgiving and that we just want to be back to being a family. We just want to be back to the old Rubidoux High School, and we cannot move on if we don't have these teachers back. I'm begging you to please bring them back, at least Miss Fuller. She means so much to me. I can't express how much I love her and support her. And I'm just really hoping that you guys are willing to listen to us and bring her back, because she's been great. Like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be standing here where I am talking in front of you guys. I hate to show my weakness, my crying, but thanks to her, I've been able to get over that and talk in front of people, despite whether they don't agree with me, and express how I truly feel. So I'm just hoping that you guys make the right decision today and bring her back, because we all miss her, and Rubidoux is ready to move on as a family again. Thank you.
Thank you, Guadalupe. Next, we have Haley Ellis Casta.
Hello, my name is Haley Ellis Casta. I'm the president of the Rubidoux FFA chapter. I've been a part of this chapter for 4 years now, and it's impacted my life beyond belief. More specifically, Mrs. Fuller. She's been a part of my life since I was a freshman. As a freshman, I participated in a fair, and I was like so nervous to do anything in high school. I was just like shocked at like how high school is. It's completely different from when you're younger. And Miss Fuller guided me and taught me to not be afraid, to not be scared to do anything at fair, in life, or anything at all. And Miss Fuller, so much to say on Miss Fuller. She's taught me so much life skills throughout these 4 years. She's taught me how to be responsible, how to trust others, including teachers. The trust with teachers, it can be broken, but it can be repaired as well. You cannot just, if something breaks, you repair it. You don't just leave it broken. And I believe with our teachers coming back, we will repair the mistakes that have occurred. Our district it's been broken, but we can repair it with all of the teachers, and specifically Miss Fuller coming back. With Miss Fuller, she's motivated me to become an agriculture teacher, actually. I've been accepted to Cal Poly Pomona, and I just can't wait to follow in her footsteps. And in order to do that, we need her to come back, and we need everyone else, and we need the future students to be able to follow in her footsteps as well. So please, we're begging you to bring her and all of the other teachers back. They've all impacted our lives. I bet I had one of the each of them as a teacher throughout the years, and I believe they're the ones with the most passion, of course these as well, the most passion for teaching. Everyone, all of our teachers have passion for teaching, but yes. So please bring back all of our teachers and Mrs. Fuller, and we'll be eternally grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. Next, we have Mary Montgomery.
Hello, I'm a senior at Rubidoux High School, and I have recently joined FFA this year. And Miss Fuller I'm here for Miss Fuller and for all the other teachers, of course, but Miss Fuller mainly. When I joined this program, everybody was so welcoming, especially Miss Fuller and Miss Finicum. They treated me like their own daughters, their own kids. She has impacted my life so much, and I would really like to see her back. This year recently, I was very ill, and she was there for me when I was going through a very hard time. She's like a mother to me, and it's really hard to see my mom taken away from me. I really want her back. She's inspired me so much. She's a great role model. She's impacted so many students. And she really doesn't deserve this. Our school and all our adults, they teach us to forgive. And she's not perfect. She made a mistake, but I think that it's time to move on and forgive all the teachers for their comments, and to forgive so we can move on and be a family again, because without these teachers, it's not Rubidoux. I don't feel this year has not been fun for me at all, and it's my senior year, and it really, really sucks that I couldn't have one of my role models with me the whole time. And I'm so grateful to have Miss Fuller in my life. I'm actually doing a 5th year because of her. She's sponsored a project for me to come back, and I'm beyond grateful to her, and I cannot say enough words about her. And I really hope that you bring them back and take all of our speeches and forgive her. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Next, we have Charles Lopez.
Hello, school board members. I'm really glad I'm able to talk to you right now about Miss Fuller and the other teachers as well, but I'm here to represent Miss Fuller. So currently, I am the treasurer at our school, at Rubidoux High School, and I wanted to say that Miss Fuller had been a really big impact on my life ever since I started my first year. I've been in this program for 4 years, and I've always seen Miss Fuller each and every day. I would go inside her classroom. If I ever needed help, she would be there. But ever since my first year, since I've decided to be in agriculture class, my whole perspective about the program has really changed. At first, I was this shy person, probably sitting in the back of this class, didn't talk to anybody, couldn't even speak to the teacher. I would always probably whisper, even if I was in front of her, probably asking her a question or something. But throughout the 4 years, Ms. Fuller has encouraged me to participate in many of these activities, such as having an animal, participating in public speaking events. Ever since I started in it, I had found a passion for it. Ms. Fuller was able to help me find that passion in me and bring it out. And now I'm not as nervous as I was before, and as you can see now, I'm able to talk in front of a whole bunch of people, a lot more than I used to. And right now, I'm nervous, but back then I wouldn't even be able to speak to probably one person. If it wasn't for Miss Fuller, I wouldn't probably be here right now speaking to all of you. She has encouraged me to join in. She has encouraged me to join in all these activities, as well as have many projects, animals. In my past 4 years, I had 5 pigs, two goats, and I currently have a steer, and I'm also going to be doing a 5th year. Because of Miss Fuller, I wouldn't be I would have never realized ever since I started that I would love someone this much, to do everything I can for just this one person. She's like a second mother to me. My parents, when I always go home and I see that my teacher isn't there, I'm always sad. And my parents are sad for me because they know that my teacher's not there, helping me each day, making me laugh. I've had so many memories with her, and I'd be really sad if I can't make any more with her. When I come back from, when I go to college, I'm going to come back and visit her. Not every day, but sometimes. But I would really appreciate it if you guys could forgive her for this just one mistake she did. As human beings, it's wrong for us to not give her a second chance. Everyone makes mistakes. And I'm pretty sure all of you made mistakes too. Time? Okay. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Charles. Next, we have Mario Cardenas.
Hello, school board members. I would like to tell you about my experience with Ms. Fuller. So this is my first year officially in the FFA program, but over the last 3 years, I have known Ms. Fuller, and she means so much to me. She's taught me how to be a better person. She's brought us together as a family, and it's really sad to see what's happening to her now. Every day we eat lunch in her room. And every time she's not there, there is a feeling of emptiness. That emptiness turns into sadness, and since it is my senior year, I'm really upset that she will not be there. The school has not been the same ever since those teachers left. And if those teachers are able to return, the school will be ready to move on. These teachers made one mistake, and they should be allowed to be forgiven, just as any human being should be. I really had hoped to see Ms. Fuller at her graduation and her senior banquet this Friday. The things Ms. Fuller has taught everyone, and me, she has taught them to become a better person. And in her 28 years of teaching, she has influenced hundreds of students. And she will continue, if she is allowed to come back, she will continue to influence more people. Her job shouldn't be taken away for one mistake.
30 seconds.
So I trust in you guys that you guys will make the right decision and allow her and the other teachers to come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. Next, we have Justin Munoz.
Hello, my name is Justin Munoz, and I'm currently serving as our agricultural department's secretary. And as a freshman, going to high school, I hated the thought of going outside. I just hated it going. I couldn't stand being outside, and I hate to. As a freshman, I hated speaking in public, and ever since the first day I met Miss Fuller, like all these individuals, she welcomed us with open arms and greeted us with words of encouragement when she would bring up an activity. And thinking of, when she presented the idea of actually going out and raising a goat, kind of like no one, you really don't hear about raising a goat, going to high school and raising a goat. But with her words of encouragement, she encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone, and I'm so glad she helped me get comfortable outside of my comfort zone, because it's just taught me so much. As a freshman, I would have never thought I'd be speaking in front of these board members, you guys, and goes for the other teachers too. I personally had Mr. Greer and Mr. Umbarger, and they cared for their students. They gave their students each possible chance to help us pass, but yeah. And so I hope you guys make the right decision in deciding whether or not these teachers should come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. All right, next we have Diane Rose. Miss Diane Rose? All right.
Thank you for listening to us. I'm Diane Rose. I'm a teacher at Rubidoux High School. I've been there for 10 years. My children were students at Rubidoux High School. And Mr. Duchamp, you know Elisa, and when she saw this stuff going on, she called me instead of texting. And she said, Mom, you know this is not Miss Fuller. If my daughter were here, she'd be saying the same things they are. I'm just going to leave you with that, because these people's one moment of a mistake should not define who they are. They have a body of work that needs to be considered. Mr. Baugh, one of our science teachers, he was a theater teacher for 7 years. My students, some of my students came out of their shells because of the theater program, and he always supported them, had kind words to say about them. He worked in a theater that is not quite a theater, but he always made it a great production and worked with those kids. Miss Riggle is not a woman who has anything but a smile and a kind word to say for people. Her day is to come in and be a pleasure for people. She went on the Korea trip. She did the Korea Club last year. She started the art club. She's in her room at lunchtime. She's there after school, helping our kids find that expressive part of themselves. They were entered into contests that they weren't comfortable in doing, but they won awards at them. Robin did that for them. Mr. Umbarger, amazing avid coordinator, senior advisor, mentor to so many students, the golf coach. These kids need people like these people. We can't define them by this one moment. Ms. Crawford, I have sat with that woman working on solutions, because I work with some of the harder kids and we need to think outside the box. And she's willing to sit with me and think about those things. What is it we can do? How can we be creative? She takes the time. As an English teacher, I had a student who struggled so bad because of EL, and we worked together to get that young lady through and improve her English. Miss Fuller, we've talked there. Mr. Greer, outstanding man. He challenged these students to think. He gave them questions to think about, not just yes or no's, but think about it. He wanted to improve his teaching, and and be able to connect with our students so badly that he was actually doing reading inventories to know where these kids were so that he could make the instruction more accessible to them. What kind of history teacher does that? Mr. Greer does that, a man who cares. Please consider their body of work and not this one moment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Next, we have Mr. William Frank. Colonel Frank.
Mr. President, honorable board members, I've been with the district for 14 years, and it's been a pleasure. You all know that I'm in the process of retiring right now. What's interesting about this process is that 14 years ago, we would have never had this situation. This is a new event created by social media. It's something that we are learning as we go, and it's important that we remember that as we go through and discover new things, we keep things in proportionality. George used that word, Mr. Monhay, earlier. Before the social media, people wouldn't have said this, or if they did, it would have been a one-on-one, and I have a sarcastic comment and reply to you. Now it's written down and it's printed. We caution the kids all the time not to put stuff out on social media that they, when they're 24, 34, 44, that they're going to have to worry about haunting them. And this is the same situation. I would want the board to seriously think about trying to use a proportional punishment for the crime, so to speak, because what they've done in a lot of sense is just sarcasm, and by us taking it literally, it gets out of control. One of the worst parts about this whole event has been the blackout on the rest of the teachers and the staff at Rubidoux High School. We don't know what's happening. We've been hunkered down. It's a situation where everybody's walking on eggs. During that same time, we did the WASC. We've responded very well as a staff, and at the same time, we've had 6 members of our family ripped out of our heart. And until we can be made whole again, it's going to be a problem that sits on everyone. So I would ask the board to please use good judgment and make a proper decision to resolve this case, but it needs to be resolved in a timely manner. We've been letting this go for literally months now, and it's getting too old. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel Franks. Next up, we have Priscilla Dallas.
Good afternoon. Thank you for letting me have a moment to speak. I will try to make this as quick as possible. I'm a mom of Madeline Ortega. She's a senior FFA member as well. She started in her junior year, and it was extremely hard for her. One, she is a perfectionist and likes to have things done a perfect way, and she met a teacher, Mrs. Fuller, that was up to the challenge to deal with her and push her, for her not to give up. Madeline excelled. Mrs. Fuller even gave her an award, Fabulous Falcons Award, earlier this year. I won't read the comments she made, but it's reflective of how Mrs. Fuller is and how much she cares about her students, and she's not the kind of teacher to let anyone stay behind. This situation has been a huge impact on the children and also my daughter, and as a parent, you're only as happy as your saddest child. And that, when you see your kid crying saying, my teacher's gone, she's like a mom, where what happened, it gets to you. And so I have reached out to Mrs. Fuller to see how she's doing. I have reached out to Mrs. Finicum to see how we can fix this or what that can be done. And the only thing that I can do is speak for her on her behalf that it's a very big mistake to let her go. And hearing that it's been more than 20 years of service that she's done and that she's helped these children. I mean, and all the other teachers too. Please don't let the lack of other people being here to speak for them be a indicator of how people feel about them, because they're teachers. We've all had them, and we've at one point possibly have been that bad student. I was. And but there's always been a teacher who has seen the best in us. And that teacher for my daughter has been Mrs. Fuller. But I'm certain that there's been many other students who also feel the same way about these other 6 teachers. And I would hope that you guys take this decision to heart and that we can heal. I am a fellow Jurupian for the past 5 years, and I live a block away from Rubidoux High School. And my daughter's a senior, but I still have a junior next year, and I have a 1-year-old who in a few years will also, we all know how quickly they grow. They will also be there, and I definitely want to be able to say, hey, there was a bad cloud, a dark cloud, but they rose up. And I think that Rubidoux has the potential. High school, they have the potential that we can all move forward and heal and learn from this. I think there's a great opportunity to learn from this experience of how things can be hard and ugly and dark, but we make mistakes, and we can teach our children to acknowledge them, be accountable, but also move forward. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Priscilla. Last card I have here is for Maria Cristina Gutierrez.
I just want to say that the 6 teachers that were removed from the school are wonderful teachers who care about their students. Otherwise, they wouldn't even have bothered to make a comment about the students not being in school. It's the fact that they cared. And I too ask for forgiveness, not just for the teachers, but for the students and the parents that blew it out of proportion. Threats were made against the teachers as well. I didn't hear anything about those students being talked to, any disciplinary action for those students. I watched a video where students broke a gate the next day. I didn't hear anything where those parents are going to be charged for that gate. I'm sure it'll come out of funds for the students that didn't do anything for their products and projects that they can be doing. I have a student who just graduated from Rubidoux High School. He's autistic. Senior year, best year, right? They go to prom, they go to grad night. That's not in the cards for a child with autism, because who's going to watch him? Who's going to watch him wander away and pull him back in? Who's going to go to prom and keep an eye on Just Joseph? You know who? Rhonda Fuller. She volunteered. I'll go. I'll take time out of my schedule. I'll watch him. Joseph didn't want to participate in graduation. Mommy, I'm scared. You know who held his hand during the ceremony? Rhonda Fuller. He didn't want to sit there. You know who kept him calm? Rhonda Fuller. This is a woman who, when I met, I thought, oh, I'm not going to get too attached because these teachers, they get paid to be nice to the kid and that's it. No, she went out of her way, evenings, weekends, to help my son with special needs, who was going to be a battle to get to graduate from high school at all, is now in college because of Rhonda Fuller. But you're going to remove her from the school, from future students she can help, from other students who think, I can't go to college, and she's not going to be there to encourage them to go. Yeah, it's going to take him a little longer, but he's going to do it because of teachers like Rhonda Fuller, Mr. Umberger, Mr. Greer, all of these teachers that care so much about their students. So please, forgiveness for all involved, and let's get back to healing. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. So last card I have, anybody else like to come up and speak? Thank you all for your comments tonight, especially the students. I know it's tough to get up here, and we appreciate you coming to the board, speaking to us. And I just want to say that we understand your frustration and the timeliness of this. And unfortunately, you know, it's a process, and you know, we appreciate your patience. And that's it. Thank you very much. Now we'll adjourn to closed session.